Hello everyone, I'm TheRapl, an S-tier tournament winner in Age of Mythology, having won Champions League, and before jumping into the video I would like to take a moment to talk about my Age of Mythology Academy. I'm the only Age of Mythology content creator to ever design high quality courses to pass all of my game knowledge to you. In the complete guide course you get to learn the general counter system, the human soldiers explained, everything how it works, the Greek units, Egyptian units, for every single civilization, army positioning, learn how to use choke points, the kiting, the formations, attack move and manual targeting. Everything you need to know about RTS even in general, not just for Age of Mythology. It's specified for Age of Mythology, but all of this can literally be transferred to any other RTS game. We get to see macro and micro in theory and in practice. Scouting and decision making, which are also very important, and every single build order for every single god, including water maps. At the end of every chapter, you will literally find quizzes, answer quizzes for you to see what you've learned from the videos and test your game knowledge. In the advanced course, you get to know how to leverage your skills, town center counter system, when to grab a second town center, when to grab a third one and a fourth one. Continuing, we get to have all the winning conditions for every single civilization, notes given to you as well. And then, we get to have the pro recorded game analysis for every single god in the game against the highest level of players, including Kvothe, Matador, Tunison, Themista, Recon. You're gonna get S-tier tournament practice games analyzed for you, not posted anywhere else. And of course, you get to have test quizzes at the end of every chapter to see what you've learned from those videos. You get to know from me how you can utilize every single god bonuses for you to basically not miss on anything. And at the very end of the course, we get to have a bonus chapter, tournament preparation. What will you need for a tournament and how exactly drafting works. If you wish to get both courses discounted, you can just get the bundle and the Aztec basics will be added free of charge. This is one-time payment and lifetime access. So thank you for your time and everything is linked in the description. Let's now jump into the video. Alright. So, first and least efficient way to earn favor as the Aztecs is by sacrificing your settlers at the temple. Clearly I said inefficient because you really need the economy from those settlers in the early game, especially in the archaic age when you do the build order. You don't really want to be sacrificing constantly villagers to earn favor. So, if I sacrifice this villager, you just select it and you right click on the temple and it says plus 15 favor. So we have 10 so far. Let's make the sacrifice, and we do earn an extra 15 favor. So, yeah, that villager no longer exists, and if we do that, we might do it at least, maybe for one villager after we age up to the classical age, we might need some favor to get a unique technology. Again, this is not something we will be doing constantly when we play the Aztecs. We don't want to be sacrificing so early the villagers. Now, the good thing at least about sacrificing settlers at the temple is the fact that we will be getting passive favor income and it scales for every villager that we sacrifice. So if I sacrifice another one, yes, we're only getting 14 favor now. The next one might give us 13. But yeah, we'll be receiving passive favor income for the rest of the game. Now, don't look at this increased generation favor. I'm using handicap, so I can train units fast. All the gather rates are higher. It's not that powerful as it seems. It's not that broken. That would be way too broken. Now, the good part about favor. Every time the units die in the battlefield, there are some little red skulls generated in the battlefield called tonali. Those can be collected by the warrior priests automatically. You just have to walk around or you have to be there, close to them. And if those tonali are generated near the temple or the Great Temple or your Jopantli towers, they're also automatically collected without you needing to have those warrior priests over there, these units here. Now let's see how it looks like in the battlefield. We're gonna be taking the fight. We might gonna be protecting those warrior priests. Let me grab them back so you see what I mean. You see those red dots? Those are the tonali that gives us favor when units die. So Have always at least one or two of these warrior priests in the battlefield that will be collecting favor for you, insane amounts of favor. These are the red skulls, called Tonali, once again, and the warrior priests collect them in the battlefield and will generate more and more insane amounts of favor, which will help us out get the unique technologies, build myth units, and pretty much be nice and safe winners. So if you have no warrior priests in the battlefield, if you at least have a Chopantli tower, that's gonna help you out a lot, because again, these buildings collect the Tonali for you. So we're gonna try to lure the opponent's army over the towers. So let's see how that's gonna look. Towers will start shooting arrows, and we can now take the fight. And you see now the towers are collecting the Tonali. And yet again, it is always a good idea to use a couple of your warrior priests to build more of these towers that will keep generating, basically collecting those Tonali for you. Obviously the towers don't get built as fast. I'm using handicap once again, so you guys can see in a faster pace how it looks like. But you get the point. So that's like the most efficient way to gather favor with the Aztec civilization. Now about the Great Temple sacrifices. There are 3 Great Temple sacrifices. A reminder, the Great Temple is the Aztec fortress, palace, or Migdol, call it however you like. It's called Great Temple, and it has 3 unique sacrifices. The first one, the New Fire Ceremony. If you sacrifice 3 livestock at it, for a short time, devoting settlers earns more favor, and livestock fatten faster. So, let me give you an example. If you upgrade here the livestock pen from the Kalpuli, villagers that start dropping off food on this building, they spawn those turkeys. Now, you can also sacrifice goats or pigs, whatever type of livestock you have available. If you have nothing of that, just upgrade this, spawn like 3 turkeys, that's the amount of turkeys you need, and you're gonna be sacrificing them at the Great Temple. So I'm gonna stop now gathering food, we don't need that. And you see, it tells you the limit. You need 3 livestock. So, let me get those settlers here. You see, if I sacrifice now the settler, that's gonna give me 15 favor. But how much is it gonna give me after I sacrifice the turkeys? Let's take a look. Alright, now that we have 3 garrisons, we have to click on the sacrifice here on the UI. I'm clicking on it. They're sacrificed for 60 seconds. Those turkeys fatten faster, and I'm gonna be getting double the amount of favor by sacrificing a settler on the temple. That's insane. You see that? 12 up to 42. So that's a nice sacrifice you can do at the Mythic Age. I wonder whether we can do it again. What if I garrison more of it? How many usages? 0 out of 1 uses remain. Okay, let's take a look, but will it be available? Because we have already used it once. I guess you can only use each sacrifice once. Yeah, we cannot click it. Because it's available and then it's gonna go... Alright. Let's ungarrison the turkeys. And now we're gonna be moving over the second Great Temple sacrifice, which is the Cosmic Guard. Garrison 15 human soldiers at the Great Temple and use this command to devote them. The reward is 6 myth units, 3 from the age 4 and 3 from the age 3. So we have now 15 spearmen. If you wanna do the second sacrifice, the Cosmic Guard at the Great Temple, make sure you sacrifice the cheapest units available. So that could possibly be the scout, but that might idle your town center. They train instantly for me because I'm using the Devast cheat code, so it's fast-paced for you. So do the units count? Yes, they do count. So you could literally just train 15 of those scouts because they only cost 45 resources. Meanwhile, a spearman costs like 80 resources. So, okay, I guess you can just go for the scouts. You can train them from the town center. Let's train one more. We're gonna be garrison them over the Great Temple. And you see that? We reached the 15 units that have to be garrisoned. So, if I now click on this, the Cosmic Guard UI, look at this, we will be spawning 6 myth units. This is a Mythic Age Myth unit, this is also a Mythic Age Myth unit, and this is as well a Mythic Age Myth unit. So 3 Mythic Age Myth units and 3 Myth units from the Heroic Age from this sacrifice. Can only use its sacrifice only once. And now, at the very last, we have this sacrifice, which is also a Mythic Age sacrifice, Arrival of the Gods. Garrison 6 warrior priests at the Great Temple and use this command to devote them. The reward is your major god as a special takes Pitla with greatly increased lifespan and combat stats. So if you wanna do a big timing attack, a big Mythic Age timing attack, you can do both these sacrifices, the one after the other, and you can have 6 myth units added to your army and a super, extremely powerful hero that will have a short lifespan we could use for a big push. Alright, 6 warrior priests are now garrisoned at the Great Temple. So, let's do the sacrifice. All 6 of them will lose their lives. And we get this insane, powerful hero with 29 divine damage per second, 50% pierce armor, so arrows don't do really that much damage against him, but he's only on 25% hack armor. Ujilipotli looks like that looks like Ujilipotli. So we get a god, we get to fight, we get to use a god to fight with, so let's take a look how he does against casual. Yeah, look at the amount of damage he does. This guy is stronger than a Bellerophon. But indeed, he does die pretty fast against melee units because his hack armor is only 25%. He ignites units on fire. So I guess this unit is mostly to be used against myth units. Because he does way more damage against myth units with the multiplier stats. So these are all the Aztec sacrifices. We will be moving over the next topic. Alright, now about the heroes of Aztecs. The only heroes you can train for the Aztecs are the warrior priests. They're trained from the temple. They cost 40 food, 70 gold, very similar to the Herser cost, but the other way around, heavy on gold, low on food. And they don't have a human tag, so there is no unit that is actually applying bonus damage against them. They're just hero. You see, the only tag they have is hero, good against myth units. And there is one trick you can do with the warrior priests. You can convert up to one of them to a Texipitla. I hope I pronounced that right. Anyways, you see, if I click here on this conversion, this unit becomes a superhero. It has a short lifespan, so you gotta use that during a fight because you don't wanna waste its lifetime, and has around 7.5 divine damage per second, another 4 damage area, and it has 1.5 range, so a very powerful unit. We cannot convert more of them at once. We have to wait for its ability to end, so you can have only one of those heroes during the fights. So let's sacrifice him, and the conversion only costs 12 favor, so that's amazing. You're most likely to have this amount of favor during every fight, so you can always have in your military one of those powerful heroes. So let's see how they do against the Minotaurs. We can take a look here. And let's convert one of them to the Texipitla. Look at the amount of damage he does. These heroes are very powerful against myth units. And on top of that, they collect the Tonali. So it's 2 jobs at once. We finish the fight and the hero is still alive. Will be shortly losing his life, but he did his duty. Alright, and explaining now the traps, the smoke traps and the spike traps. Those traps can only be built by the archers and the spearmen from the war hut. No other unit can build traps for the Aztecs. So, a way to use those traps is, you select the archers or the spearmen you have available. You're gonna be placing, for example, the first, probably, yes, I would use the spike trap first, like around this location. And I'm gonna try to lure over those spike traps the enemy units in this position. You see, if you have a bunch of units, they build quite fast. And if I wanna make it better, I might wanna drop some smoke traps just behind those spike traps. So after the units are released, if my opponent still wants to fight, then he's gonna be trapped over the smoke and he's gonna have very little vision to see what's going on. Alright, I'm gonna be selecting now my army and I'm gonna be luring my opponent over those traps. There we see him chasing me down. I'm gonna be retreating over the traps and check this out. Units are being stuck and have extremely low vision while my army is literally able to see everything. Look how amazing those traps is. If you can lure your opponent underneath those traps, it's doing tremendous amount of damage, stunning them, and on top of that, you win way easier than just fighting in an open field with no advantage. So that's how pretty much the traps work. I would advise, if you see more of my videos overall, you'll notice how I generally use them. I might use them on top of villagers while I'm building a second town center. I might be building those traps around a gold mine. There are plenty of creative ways to use those traps, and I do recommend to do that yourself. Alright, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and I hope to see you in the next one.